Greetings and welcome back. My name is Troy Podell. I'm the K-12 Social Studies Curriculum Leader for the Downingtown Area School District, and I'm here this morning to discuss with you our new curriculum process as a district. We're replacing the cyclical paradigm with an ever-evolving process. The best place to start is with why. Why are we doing this in the first place? It's because we believe that curriculum's primary purpose is to empower students to interact with and contribute to the changing world around them. The rate of change in our current world is such that it's no longer conducive to a curriculum rewriting cycle that's a 2 to 3 day event that occurs by department every 5 to 10 years. The rate of change in the world is too great. We also believe that curricular revisions need to be an annual event in order to meet these changing needs of our students, to stay relevant, and to maintain a high familiarity level among the teachers charged with delivering it. Now, our curriculum is actually in a really good place, but there are definite steps that we can take to take it from good to great. One of those steps is having a consistency in output, which is addressed by the first two pieces here, a consistent template and consistent expectations for a finished product. The third piece, consistent revision, if we're going to call our curricula living, breathing documents, then we actually have to do things to help them live and breathe, and that involves consistently going back and making changes. We also need to make sure that our curricula are resource agnostic, not resource dependent. So the piece about how we're going to do this is by utilizing this new process. The process comes in 4 phases. The first 3 phases are all about a year in duration. The goal is to get all of our district courses, all of our curricula over the next 5 years into the 4th phase of ongoing reflection and revision. This process is being overseen by your curriculum leaders. The first step in the process is a structured process of research. We have to ask ourselves some questions. What do our stakeholders need? What do colleges and employers say they need from our students? What are other school districts doing to serve their students? What gaps do we notice in our students' understanding or skills after they've left Downingtown Area School District? Once we've identified those pieces and done that research, we have to be trained, first in how to write curricula to the standards of Understanding by Design 2.0, which is the curriculum framework I'm going to explain more in a moment, and for some select courses, training in the creation and vetting of open educational resources. The second phase is a curriculum writing phase, and that's an 11-month process from June of one year until May of the next. There are multiple drafts that are going to be submitted with consistent feed forward from curriculum leaders and other stakeholders in order to make this curriculum the best that it can be. In September of the curriculum writing year, a first draft will be due, and at that point, we will begin the process of selecting and vetting proprietary resources that fit our curricula, not the other way around. Once the curriculum is written, there's an implementation and fidelity phase, providing ongoing support and consistent assessment of what it is that we're actually doing in the classroom. It's one thing to have a plan on paper as a curriculum, but then once we actually have it exposed to the students, it's inevitable that there are going to be changes in what we're actually doing. Well, then we need to go back and amend the curriculum document to reflect those changes. And finally, the final phase is ongoing reflection and revision, barring some drastic changes from the outside world, such as a complete rewrite of standards from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, or a change in courses from Advanced Placement, the College Board, or from the International Baccalaureate. Once we get our courses here, it's a process of consistent revision to better tune and meet the needs of our students. The framework that we've selected for this curriculum rewrite process is Understanding by Design 2.0, created by Wiggins and McTighe. We began thinking as a curriculum leader group about how we can best meet Dr. Lenardi's vision of promoting rigor, engagement, and student agency in all of our classrooms. And we concluded that we need to help our students ask better questions, and we need to ask better questions of them as teachers, and this framework helps us to do that. This framework reflects contemporary and enduring scholarship in our field. It focuses most specifically on the development of student skills. It facilitates vertical alignment of our curricula. It corresponds to the new Pennsylvania Future Ready framework, and it's the most student-centered curriculum development tool that we were able to find. We've talked a lot about process here, and UBD, Understanding by Design, is a process. It's a thinking process that we all go through, where our primary focus is on what we want students to know and be able to do, what they can take with them from the course and transfer to other contexts. Then we have to ask ourselves the question of how we know that they're able to do it. That's evidence and assessment. Then once we realize what our goals are and how we know that we've achieved them, we come up with a plan of how we're going to get the students there. And then the consideration begins of what resources do we need to help us get there. What you see now in front of you are the steps from research through to implementation that courses that will begin writing this June of 2019, will undergo. Begins with, for those select courses that are going to utilize open educational resources, having that training over the course of the year, as well as any new course proposals that we would write in June being submitted to your curriculum leader. In the spring of this year, choosing those writers for the June 2019 writing, for the courses that we would like to add to the course catalog in the Downingtown Area School District, having a student interest survey so that we have data to justify it, and then training our writers in Understanding by Design 2.0. You can see into the fall of 2019 the aforementioned first draft of the curriculum, as well as the resource selection process. We move along into the spring, where we're looking to finalize, quote unquote, that writing. And as we've discussed, it's never really final or ended, but it's ready for implementation, as well as the resource purchase, should that be necessary. Moving into the fall of 2020, implementation. We begin to overlay multiple steps on top so that you can see how we're going to begin to make sure that over the next 5 years, we arrive at all of our courses reaching that revision phase. The first step in the process is research and professional learning. Your curriculum leaders are going to tell you which courses are entering this research phase for this year, and we'll begin the structured tasks and conversations that we need to prepare ourselves to write effectively. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Have an awesome year and trust the new curriculum process.